Hello traders, this is Rich from tradesight. This is a look at our market leading stocks for the coming week. This is going to be for Monday, June 23rd, 2013. Today was quadruple expiration, so we're going to have a little extra volume just because of that. And also on Monday we're going to have kind of a little bit of a retesting period as it takes a couple of days for the desks to roll over into the new contract. So definitely keep that in mind as we go forward through our scans here. Right now in the NASDAQ patch, we're pretty much paired off with about an equal number of buys and sells, so we don't have a bias one way or another. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of volume bumps because of the expiration. So I'm just going to focus on the outright deviations, which there really aren't any today to speak of. Usually the price changing is usually done before the actual day of the expiration. The one that's getting close is Amgen. Amgen's got an upside CPS buy, is about 2% above the day's open, so that would definitely be one to watch for next week. And the biotechs are coming on very, very strong today across the board. A lot of volume bumps here in the financials. Again, a lot of it's expiration related, but here you can see that we do have a downward bias. We've got, for the most part, at least 2 to 1 on the sell side here, and we're really like 3 to 1. So this is definitely a downward bias. Fair amount of contra candles, and we do have some CPSs, which are something that means a move is already underway, and we're expecting it to continue at least for the next trading day. Moving on to the energy names, RIG is pretty strong, but unfortunately doesn't have a signal. Arch Coal is fairly weak, and that one doesn't have a signal either. I'm just going to kind of ignore the volume bumps because a lot of them are expiration related. Moving on to the market generals, again, bloated volume for most of these. Best Buy is notably weak. It's got a downside CPS and has almost got an open-close deviation. It's more than 2% below the day's open, so that might be worth keeping an eye on for Monday. Moving on to the housing names, not too much here. We do have a downside CPS in Home Depot, and that one's got some pretty decent volume to go with it. American Airlines, upside CPS, that was 3% above the day's open and 1.5% above the day's VWAP. So that's a really strong candle. Going to be closing near the high. So big day there for the airlines. Commodity names are kind of resting today. We thought there would be a little kind of at least a resting day or a little bit of a downside. The GLD is actually lower on the day, and the XAU is the last laggard today out of all the majors. Even though gold's a bit higher on the day. So it doesn't even matter just because they did so much yesterday, and we had a lot of RPSs to the downside, so there was really not a high probability scenario for them following through. So we did have a resting day today. See if they do want to follow through tomorrow. They probably need to work off a little bit more. The chart is pretty extended, and we'll talk about that in the weekend preview with Chris. All right, folks, as always, thanks for listening. This has been Rich for tradesight.